And I'm Maria Agnes.
So we are doing our masters in clinical psychology from Christian College, Bangalore.
And we are here to talk on sanitary napkins and menstrual cups. So now let's begin.
So now first let's understand what sanitary pads and menstrual cups are. So coming to sanitary pads, they are also known as sanitary napkins or menstrual pads and are absorbent products that are worn typically by women during their menstrual cycle in order to absorb the menstrual or the period blood and to keep them dry and comfortable. So they are placed inside the underwear and it helps to prevent menstrual fluid or the period blood from leaking and soiling the clothing. Now coming to the types of sanitary pads, the types of sanitary pads varies from single-use disposable pads to reusable cloth pads that can be used after washing and cleaning, and the thin pads or the regular pads and the maxi pads that can be varied with use based on light flow days, heavy flows, or for moderate use and overnight use. And also there are winged pads that have wings that gives additional protection and leakage prevention, and panty liners and other scented pads that helps in masking the odor, and also organic and chemical free pads that are made from natural and organic materials that are helpful for those with sensitivities or environmental concerns. Now coming to menstrual cup. So menstrual cups are also just like the menstrual pads. It also helps in collecting the menstrual fluid during their period cycle. So they are typically made from silicone, that is the medical grade silicone, and are soft, flexible, and are easy to clean, or they are made from natural rubber latex. And there are also the thermoplastic elastomer menstrual cups that are similar in design to that of silicone cups, but they are hypoallergenic and may be a suitable alternative for those who have latex allergies. And there are also the reusable menstrual cups that can be cleaned and used for over 7 to 10 years, and there are also single use disposable menstrual cups. So menstrual cups also vary based on their shapes and sizes to accommodate different body types and flow levels. For example, for those who have given birth and for those who haven't given birth, and based on their firmness depending on the individual's comfort and ease of insertion. So these also have special unique features such as the grips or the stems of the menstrual cups or different textures to aid with removal and positioning of the menstrual cup. Now coming to how to use sanitary napkins and menstrual cups. So how to use the sanitary pads. So first you always have to clean your hands with soap and water, and then you can slowly unpack or unwrap the pad carefully, making sure not to damage the pad inside. And then you can position the pad. So the pads have a sticky side that adheres to your underwear. So you can remove the backing from the adhesive side to expose the sticky surface. And then you can position the pad in the center of your underwear with the adhesive side facing down, that is towards your underwear. And then make sure it's placed comfortably and covers your vaginal area. And then if the pads has wings, you can fold it over the underwear to secure the pad in place. And it is also essential to change your sanitary pads regularly, typically every 3 to 4 hours or as required based on your flow. So this helps to prevent leakage and also maintains hygiene. And when you're ready to change the pad, you can peel it off and wrap it in a wrapper or tissue, and make sure not to dispose it in closets or in toilets because it can cause plumbing problems. So after the usage also, it is important to clean your hands and wash it properly with soap and water. Now coming to using the menstrual cups. So like before, you have to clean your hands before usage, and there are different types of different ways on how to fold the menstrual cup. So the most common one is the C fold or the U fold, where you fold the menstrual cup in half in order to create a C or a U shape. So you can also try the other foldings like the punch down fold or the 7 fold based on your comfort and ease of insertion. So before inserting the menstrual cup, you have to find a comfortable position and you have to relax. So you can either sit on the toilet or be in a squat position or stand with one leg lifted. So this helps you to relax your vaginal muscles. And then you can gently insert the folded cup into your vagina, angling it slightly towards your tailbone and not just straight up. So the cup should be positioned lower than you place a tampon, and the stem should be sticking out for the removal. And once the cup is inside, you can release the fold and let it open up. So you can use your finger to ensure that it has fully expanded. So the cup creates a seal against your vaginal walls to prevent the leakage. So, in order to understand if it is sealed, you can run your finger around the base of the cup to make sure it's fully open and sealed against the vaginal walls. So, this seal is essential for preventing the leakage. And menstrual cups can be worn for around 12 hours depending on your flow. So, you might want to empty it frequently during heavy flow days. And during removal, also, you have to wash your hands and be comfortable and relaxed in order to relax your muscle. So, to break the seal during removal, you can gently pinch the base of the cup with your thumb and forefinger. So, this will help to release the suction, and then you can gently pull the cup out and be careful not to rush or pull too hard to avoid discomfort. And after this, you can empty and clean the cup using um, cold water first to prevent the staining, and then using warm water and soap to clean it properly. So you can again reinsert it after cleaning properly, and you can sterilize the menstrual cup once a month after every cycle. So it is also important to sterilize the menstrual cup before you first use it. So, sterilizing can be done by boiling the menstrual cup in water for around 10 minutes, and this helps to prevent bacterial growth and other germs from growing, and it also helps to be hygienic and maintain the necessary hygiene. So now let's understand about other aspects of using menstrual cups and sanitary napkins.
So first we'll talk about menstrual hygiene. So in this, regular bathing is very important. It is very necessary for a person to keep a good personal hygiene during these periods, and it is very important so that it helps in any kind of removal of contamination. Then changing the period products. So changing the sanitary napkins as well as the menstrual cups when necessary is very important, and this helps in preventing any kind of odor or discomfort that you may feel. Then we have cleanliness. So in cleanliness, the genital areas should be kept clean and dry, and this is to avoid any kind of discomfort or rashes. Moving on, we have proper disposal. So disposing the used products properly is very much necessary so as to prevent any kind of environmental contamination. Then comfortable clothing. During your period times, it's very necessary that you wear something comfortable and loose and very breathable panties, and minimize the discomfort through all these measures. Then educating yourself. Staying informed about menstrual hygiene practices and seeking medical advice if you have any concerns is very necessary and helps you know better about your situations. Moving on, we'll be talking about the necessary precautions and materials required when using sanitary napkins and menstrual cups. First, we'll be talking about sanitary napkins. So, clean hands. Always wash your hands before using a napkin. This is mainly to prevent any kind of contamination. Then proper disposal, as we have already discussed. You after the use, the used napkin should be wrapped properly and put in a separate bag and disposed just in the sanitary bin. You should make sure that you do not put it in any other kind of disposals, only in the sanitary bin. Then change regularly. So it is very much recommended that people should change the napkins every 4 to 6 hours, and this is very much helpful in maintaining hygiene and decrease any kind of rashes. Then choosing the right size. So every person has different blood flow. So according to the blood flow that you have experienced, you should choose the right size for you, and this will help you in maintaining and decreasing the leakage that might be seen. Then avoiding fragrances. This does not necessarily happen for everybody, but some people might face irritation while using the fragranced napkins. So in this case, opt for the unscented ones if you have a very sensitive skin. Moving on, we are going to the menstrual cups, where first sterilization is the most important thing. Boiling the cup before the use is very important and between the cycles, and this helps in ensuring cleanliness. Then clean hands. Wash your hands thoroughly before inserting as well as removing the cup. In both the processes, you should wash your hands. This is to maintain hygiene. Then proper insertion. Follow the instructions very carefully to ensure it is inserted correctly, and this will help you in preventing any kind of leaks. So follow the instructions very properly. Then empty regularly. Empty the cup every 4 to 12 hours depending on your flow. So it is 4 to 6 in case of sanitary napkins and 4 to 12 in case of the cup. It depends mainly on the flow that you have been experiencing. And check for any kind of damage. Inspect your cup for any signs of damage or wear before you're buying it and you're using it. Make sure you do that. We can then move on into contraindications. So these are generally no specific contraindications in case of sanitary napkins, but some individuals they might face allergies and they might have a very sensitive skin. So in just these cases, you may go for hypoallergenic options. So it depends on person to person. You have to check whether you are very sensitive to it or not. And then we have menstrual cups. When in case of menstrual cups is not something that may not be suitable for every girl, because it has many things that have to be considered. First is virginity. So some healthcare professionals do advise against using cups if you're a virgin, because this is mainly due to the concerns about hymen integrity. So yeah, this is one of the main reasons why people tend not to use it. Then certain medical conditions. So it is very important that you consult your healthcare provider before using a menstrual cup. If you have any kind of certain medical conditions, like a tilted uterus or a history of vaginal infections, it is very much recommended that you go talk to your consultant, the healthcare consultant, and make sure that it is okay for you to use. And this will help you in, causing any other problems in the future. Then lastly, we have allergies. If you are allergic to silicone or rubber, because these are the very much commonly used cup materials, if you are allergic to these, it is very much important that you try to avoid the use of menstrual cups.
So, as we all know, sanitary pads is one of the thing that most of the women use when they were on periods. So let's look into benefits of using sanitary pads. So while using sanitary pads, the most and important benefit of using sanitary pads is its capacity of absorption. Sanitary pads are designed to quickly absorb menstrual flow and keep it away from the body. This helps to prevent leakage and keeps you feeling dry and comfortable. The next benefit of using sanitary pad is convenience and comfort. So there are various types and sizes of pads available, catering to different flow levels and personal preferences. So another benefit of sanitary pads is its variety. Variety types are available. So unlike tampons or menstrual cup, there is no insertion is required in case of sanitary pads. Many women prefer that too. Like many women feel comfortable when there is no need to be inserted something into the vagina while they are on periods. So Next benefit of using sanitary pad is reduce the risk of toxic shock syndrome. Sanitary pads do not pose the same risk of TSS as tampons, making them a safer option for those concerned about TSS. And accessibility, it is one of the best part while using sanitary pads because it is easily available. The other benefit is it is easy to disposable. It is easy to dispose. You can simply throw them away after use, which makes them a hygienic and convenient option. And the ninth benefit of using sanitary pads is no age or medical restrictions. Sanitary pads are suitable for individuals of all ages and do not have medical restrictions or contradictions, unlike some other menstrual products. And the last benefits could be customization. There are various types of pads, including those for overnight use, for heavy flow, and for light flow, allowing you to customize your choice to match your needs. So then let's look into benefits of using menstrual cup. The first use is eco-friendly. Menstrual cups are reusable, which means they create less waste compared to disposable pads and tampons. It is cost effective. Less frequent change is needed while using a menstrual cup. Then leakage prevention, odor control, comfort and discreetness. Once properly inserted, many users report that they can't feel the cup. It's discreet and you can engage in various physical activities, including swimming without worrying. And another benefit is health considerations. Menstrual cups are typically made of medical grade silicone, rubber, latex, or elastomer, and they don't contain harmful chemicals or additives. Then another benefit of using menstrual cup is it is less irritating. Menstrual cup don't absorb moisture from the vaginal area, so they can be less drying and irritating compared to tampons. And convenience. Menstrual cups are small and portable, making them easy to carry around. This can be especially handy when you are traveling. And the most and notable point of using a menstrual cup is its long lifespan. With proper care, a menstrual cup can last for several years, which means you don't need to constantly restock on menstrual products. Then, now we will look into challenges of using menstrual cup and sanitary pads. So, challenges of using sanitary pads. First one is discomfort and bulkiness. Some people find sanitary pads uncomfortable to wear, particularly if they are thick or bulky. Leakage. There are possibilities of sanitary pads get leaked. Environmental impact. Odor. Sanitary pads can trap odor, which may become noticeable over time, particularly in the case of heavy flow. The next one is limited capacity. Pads need to be changed more frequently, especially on heavy flow days. It will be more inconvenient for people to change pads when they were traveling. Let's look into challenges of using menstrual cup. Learning curve. Many people find inserting and removing a menstrual cup a bit challenging, especially when they are new to using one. It can take time and practice to get hang of it. Next challenge is proper fit. It's crucial to find the right size and shape of the menstrual cup to ensure a proper fit. An ill-fitting cup can be uncomfortable or lead to leakage. Cleaning and maintenance. Menstrual cups require regular cleaning and sterilization between uses, which some people may find it as inconvenient. Next is public restroom. Emptying and cleaning the cup in public restroom can be awkward, as it may require access to a sink or the use of wipes. And last challenge of using menstrual cup is suction issues. So my last topic, the prescribed duration for using sanitary pads and menstrual cup. So some general guidelines for using prescribed duration of sanitary pad is that change frequency. Like on an average, changing a pad every 3-4 hours is required. While using overnight, 6 to 8 hours is prescribed for using one pad. And it will changes according to the flow and person. Then when comes to the prescribed duration of using menstrual cups, uh, it is prescribed that on an average the cup has to be cleaned or emptied after 12 hours of usage.
Hi, so I'll be talking about my experience of using a menstrual cup. So the initial half of getting a menstrual cup, that using it, all of those was out of complete curiosity, and the big boom at that point of time of using, and the advertisement, the conversations, and all of those. So out of that, me and my sister, we bought it together, and it was actually initial half of curiosity of how to insert it and all of those. So we were going through a lot of YouTube videos, reviews, and all of those to get to know about it. And then the initial half of year is based on how to insert it. So there are different methods of inserting it, and you can try out different and understand what works for you. Not all works for everyone. So that was the first half of year on how to do it. And then later, once we figure it out, and first time I've used it and inserted it, it was a like, oh wow, it actually works, that kind of a feeling. And then later I understood actually how beneficial it is than using a normal sanitary pads. The other irritations and all of those are not there. Once you get used to it, the initial half of irritation of being first time user will always be there. But once you go through it, you'll be fine with it, and you will understand how comfortable and far more useful it is. And since it's more long lasting, and then rather than using, you can use it for even for 5 years and all of those, which is a big thing. And then if you're a first time user, one thing I would advise is you can even use, along with the cup, you can use a panty liner or something, so that you're a bit more confident to it, and then later you will get used to it and will understand how beneficial it is. So it's a trial and error method, so once you use it, you'll understand. So I would prefer people to use it and then understand, rather than just listening to the reviews. So that's my experience. Thank you.